What's up guys, and welcome to another YuGiOh Duelings video. So currently the Paradox event is still ongoing, and there has been a quick announcement regarding a mini box that's coming into YuGiOh Duelings today. It's called the Stars of Synchro, and as you can see, all the cards have been re-added on all the Ice Barrier cards. So most probably there's gonna be a Trishula Dragon of the Ice Barrier being added, since there's already a Trishula Dragon of the Ice Barrier bundle available or coming soon for this entire set as well. So not to mention the Stars of Synchro, Shrink Star Dragon. So most probably this entire mini box is gonna be focusing on Synchro Summoning, as well as much more support for usage monsters, especially for the Stardust or even the Shooting Star. So that's about it for the main boss, and let's get onto the main topic real quick. So currently, I know most of you are actually building or have already built a Malefic deck overall, so I'm here to share mine. So do know that I do not actually own certain copies of the core cards, especially Malefic Territory. I only have one copy. I'm still trying to get my hands on my second copy, but thus far it's being very fruitless. But regardless, this deck works about just fine. So starting off, I'm playing one copy of Malefic Cyber End Dragon, two Paradigm Dragons, one Paradox Gear, Malefic Rainbow Dragon as well as its counterpart of Rainbow Dragon, two Malefic Blue Eyes White Dragon, three Malefic Parallel Gears, one Malefic Territory, three Malefic Selectors, and also three copies of Malefic World. I also play Dragon's Rage and also Malefic Tune. Since most of the cards here are all Dragon type, and we have the problem of sometimes not going into Malefic Territory. But if you are unaware of what's good about Malefic Territory, essentially this continuous spell card allows you to activate Malefic World from your deck. That way, while this card is available, neither player can target cards in the field zone with card effects. The Malefic monster effects changes from there can only be one face-up Malefic monster into there can only be one face-up Malefic monster of the same name. That way, this allows you to actually play much more Malefic monsters onto the field without regarding whether it has a condition of there can only be one face-up Malefic monster on the field, such as for the ones for Malefic Cyber End Dragon, and also Malefic Stardust Dragon, Malefic Red Eyes, and also Malefic Rainbow Dragon, along with Malefic Blue Eyes. So with that being the fact that most of the Malefic monsters actually restrict you from bringing much more Malefic monsters onto the field, this card allows you to bypass that and essentially swarm the field with as much Malefic monsters that you can carry. As long as it's a one with different names, that way that comes in combo with Dragon's Rage. So sometimes when your opponent does see that you have some monsters of higher attack points, they'll either floodgate it or even worse, or even put their monsters in defense position. That's why Dragon's Rage allows you to do some piercing battle damage to essentially let you win the duel in a much faster rate. Not to mention, a great searcher is called Malefic Paradox Gear. With a field spell present, you can tribute this card and add and special summon a Malefic Parallel Gear onto the field while adding any Malefic monsters that you want into your hand. So most of the time this would go into the combo of Malefic Blue Eyes White Dragon, so you can synchro into Malefic Paradox Dragon. But if you already have Malefic Blue Eyes in your hand, you can add any other Malefic monsters that you want. That way you can essentially have much more field presence, not to mention with cards like Malefic Selector and also Malefic Tune. The reason I'm playing Malefic Tune, because there are also certain situations where you do not draw into Malefic World or even Malefic Territory. With that being the case, you'll have to set either Malefic Paradox Gear or even Malefic Parallel Gear on the field in defense position and set Malefic Tune so that when this monster gets destroyed by battle or even card effects, you can activate this trap card to draw two fresh cards into your hand, and if you have Malefic Selector in hand, you can banish these two cards from the graveyard and add any other Malefic cards that you want from your deck into your hand. That way you'll have much more access into playing your Malefic playstyle and also win the duel essentially. Also, if you are also having some problems with not having certain Malefic key cards or even Malefic monsters overall, don't worry about that because the Malefic Dragon skill allows you to have access to Malefic Truth, Parallel Gear, Stardust, Malefic World, as well as Malefic Paradox Dragon being added to your deck and extra deck. With that being the case, at least you'll have some cards already accessible, so even if you do not have Malefic Blue Eyes White Dragon, you'll have Malefic Stardust Dragon that will be used as a synchro material with Parallel Gear so they can go into Malefic Paradox Dragon. Okay, do remember this about the Malefic archetype. Although the Malefic monsters, most of them have this condition that there can only be one face-up Malefic monster on the field. The exception to this is Malefic Paradox Dragon and also Malefic Paradigm Dragon. So if you were to obtain 3 copies of Paradigm Dragon and also about 3 more copies of Malefic Cyber End Dragon, most probably you are gonna play Paradigm Dragon because you'll be using this monster and with the combo of Paradox Dragon with 8,000 attack points combined, not to mention with Dragon's Rage dealing piercing battle damage, you can essentially win the duel just like that. So without further ado, let's get into a duel real quick so that I can show you how this deck is being played.
You will be crushed by my grand design! My deck contains the
Okay,
most powerful
alright, so we
cards
managed to
from
draw
every...
into
You want to
Malefic
duel?
World. This is a great
Duel!
start. So
I know
we're going
everything
on the
that your
first
cards
turn,
can
let's
activate
activate
my
Malefic
field
World.
strength.
And let's bring out
Welcome to
Cyber End
Malefic
Dragon
World.
real quick. Because Cyber End Dragon or even
Let's
Malefic
go,
Rainbow Dragon,
Malefic.
it doesn't actually matter. It only depends on whether you are playing which playstyle you're going for the Malefics, whether you'll be banishing from the extra deck or even from your
There's
main
no
deck.
need to hesitate.
Preferably
Attack
banishing from
me.
the extra deck is much better because that way you won't actually hinder any combo pieces inside the main deck. But at the same time, if you are planning to play the ones with Malefic Rainbow Dragon, this is one way you can go about it.
My monster attacks. I end
I
my
know
turn.
everything that your cards can do. I activate
Alright,
Malefic
let's
World's
activate
effect.
this effect. So
Instead
right
of
now,
drawing,
if you skip
I
your
can
draw
command
phase, you have the
Malefic
option of
cards.
choosing all the different cards available right here. So in most conditions, most of the time you would actually be hoping you would actually be able to get into either Paradox, into a Malefic territory or even a Malefic world. With that being the case, let's just activate this and see how it goes. Okay, this is fine. Let's activate Malefic World real quick, destroy our Malefic Cyber End Dragon, and bring out Malefic Rainbow Dragon. Why I did this is because the moment in the next turn when the field spell allows me to build for cards, I can essentially banish the cards that are already currently available in my graveyard, aka either Malefic World, Malefic Parallel Gear, or even Malefic Cyber End Dragon. So this is actually one of the safer combos to go on, just in case that if you're wondering, yes, this is actually what this deck is gonna be focusing on. So it'll be actually allowing you to have much more access to obtain cards that you need, like Malefic Territory and also different other Malefic cards overall.
Guess it's the end of my turn.
Okay, since the board is cleared like that, and we already have a few Malefic cards in the graveyard, let's use Malefic World's effect and not giving our opponent the option of actually sabotaging us. So this is one of the few things you can do. So now with Malefic Selector activated, we can banish 2 cards from the graveyard. So let's banish Malefic World and also one Malefic Rainbow Dragon. And now with that being out of the way, let's add Malefic Territory and also a Malefic Paradigm Dragon. Since this one last attack is definitely gonna win us a duel, activate Malefic Territory. It'll give you the option to activate Malefic World, but if you already have Malefic World already in play, then press no. And proceed with the duel banishing your Paradox Dragon. And now we can battle and win the game.
world.
So yeah, this is actually how I play my Malefic deck. Although I would have preferred to have more than 2 copies of Malefic Territory overall, but sadly that's not in the cards for me. So this is how I actually play my Malefic deck. So just in case I do not draw into Malefic Territory, I'll have multiple options and multiple plays while building up my graveyard, as well as giving me access to what I can do and what I cannot do. So a lot of multiple combos and contingencies to play on if you do run into a situation where you do not actually match the draw in the cards that you need. So anyways, this is how I'm building my deck, and I hope this is actually a very useful video, and you might consider it just in case when you see some of the cards for the Malefics being like, oh, just drawing cards, okay, that's a very mid effect. Sorry, but no, sometimes they are very crucial pieces to the combo overall. So this deck profile itself is a different one from the one I just showed you. This is the cheaper version if you do not have the core cards for the Malefics, like Malefic Territory. So this is how you can play it. By using the level up rewards like Malefic Paradigm Dragon and Malefic Cyber End Dragon, you can basically add those into your Malefic deck. But since I'm playing Malefic Blue Eyes, I'm just gonna play with the assumption at least one of you managed to obtain either a Malefic Blue Eyes or even a Malefic Stardust Dragon. So with that, I'm playing also Malefic Truth Dragon because we'll be setting Malefic Parallel Gear, and whenever a Malefic monster is destroyed, you can special summon Malefic Truth Dragon onto the field while cutting your life points in half. So 5,000 attack points, that's pretty decent. And not to mention, if you have Malefic World already in play, this monster is already more than enough for you to actually win a duel against your opponent. Not to mention, if you have Dragon's Rage, this just basically doubles your chances of winning the duel and also performing a one-turn kill just like that. And essentially, if you have Malefic Tune, basically as you can see, Malefic Tune and Malefic Selector, there's a lot of draw energy in this deck. So if you want to go for the route that I'm actually playing, the one with Malefic Territory, that's a great deck for you to follow. But if you are actually hard up on cash or hard up on gems, meaning you do not have enough gems or even enough cards of access to go into a Malefic deck that requires a lot of high rarity cards, that's one of the builds I can recommend you and from there you can see how you can progress. Anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully when this mini boss does come out, I'm gonna post a video about it and basically share what I managed to pull. So until then, stay safe and have a great day ahead of you, and goodbye.